I'm Rob.
And I'm Dave.
We've got the same dad.
That's very tuneful. But we didn't meet until...
I was 16 years old.
And I was considerably older.
Which is why we started this podcast.
To share the music and albums that we would have otherwise shared had we grown up together.
It's been 2 years and counting. So as we reach the end of our second season,
we look back on the albums that
we shared and asked the pertinent question.
What are you going to say, your brother?
Are they albums? Say, are they albums?
Ah, okay. Ask the pertinent question again.
Were they albums
Were they?
We look back and ask the pertinent, hard-hitting, and most critical question of all.
Probably the most critical question the world is facing at the moment, which is, are they albums that
your
brother
should
know? Hooray, we got through that.
So, we didn't start this podcast to keep score, as roughly as that would have been. However, when we did that a year ago and we sat down and looked at the 12 albums we shared that time, I had a bit of a straight flush. There were 3 albums that Dave was happy to say he loved, adored, and would take to a desert island, and only 1 album that was a big fail, which leaves 2 in the meh category. Well, I was a bit more conservative. There were 2 albums I loved and 2 that I would happily never listen to again.
So what we're saying is it's not competition, but you're winning. That's where we're at.
This year, we've only shared 4 albums each. And I don't know what kind of mental state I was in because I was all over the place this season. I shared Dogman Star with Suede. Undoubtedly a great album, but one that I can't even say I love myself. Yeah. You're Dead by Flying Lotus, like the ultimate mind fuck of an album. Like no one's going to dig that on their first day or even get it. Then I went to the complete other end of things and shared Bon Jovi, These Days. And then I rounded up the season, I think trying to grasp a little bit of like easy win with LCD Soundsystem's The Sound of Silver.
And I shared with you, and I realised I went proper. Like, the most modern thing I shared with you was Ultravox Vienna, right? And on top of that, I shared Scott Walker 2, Jethro Tull, Thick as a Brick, and Stevie Wonder, Talking Book.
So, off the bat, last time we worked from the bottom up, I just want to cut straight to it, Dave. Any of these 4 albums I shared with you, ones that you are truly, deeply, madly thrilled that you now know?
Oh, okay, that way around. Yes. Actually, I hate to say it because it's not a competition, but you are winning. Basically, 3 out of the 4 have contributed to my musical jigsaw makeup, and I'm really glad that I heard them, and I'm on a bit of a journey around them. Kinda. So...
that means there's one that you either really love or one that you really hate.
Yeah, it's more the other. So 3 out of the 4, Tick VG win, it's a hit. And actually really hard for me to say which one would be kind of more important to me at the moment than the other. And we'll get into that. And then there's one that I'm sorry, I'm not going to go there, and it's really difficult because your significant other really loves them, and it probably makes.
Oh, I thought you were gonna crap on Bon Jovi. You didn't like Suede at all. Sure, yeah.
Yeah. Well, should we get? Okay. So that's where I'm at. Flying Lotus, Bon Jovi, LCD Soundsystem. Really glad you pitched them. We'll get into the Bon Jovi. And I've done more stuff around them since the podcast. I've got to say, Suede, Dogman Star. I mean, at the time, I didn't, as you know, it didn't quite register with me. It still hasn't. It's still landfill indie pop for me that I'm not. And I know it isn't to Suede fans, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but
it's not landfill. You don't have to like it, but it's not landfill.
Fair enough. It's just not. But it's not this season's Fiona Apple. It's not like just that visceral thing I had around Fiona Apple where I just couldn't stand it. It's just meh for me. Sorry. That's where I'm at with it. You haven't hooked me with that, but you have hooked me with the other 3. Okay, so same question. How have I done this year?
Dave, I'll be honest, I set this up to fail. I mean, this was a complete clean sweep for you. I pretty much loved everything you shared. There's nothing that I didn't enjoy. Bangers, yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, well, to be fair, we'll get into that. You know, my last one, Stevie Wonder talking book, was kind of a little bit, you know, like, would you like £1 million that everyone else agrees is really great? Would you like this thing that the world thinks is brilliant? So apologies for that. But okay, that's interesting. Go on.
So last time in the Kiss, Marry, Kill analogy, we had that kind of top sphere where we got the killer ones, the ones that, you know, all of these albums you're going to learn something for, but then there's ones that are really actually going to earn a place in your collection that you're going to play regularly. Were there any of those three that? So I don't see you putting on Bon Jovi every Sunday. You know what I mean?
No. Well, so slightly odd, and I wish it was more clear cut. Right. So Sound of Silver, killer album. Unquestionably, you know, like that is a brilliant album. But I have listened to other LCD Sound, the other albums. There's not that very many, and for whatever reason, they've not grabbed me in the same way. So that, but I still don't know whether therefore the Sound of Silver it's there for me because you introduced it to me or whatever. But no, I think it's a generally really brilliant album, and I probably enjoy it more than the Flying Lotus You're Dead, although I think that's a kind of time and complexity thing as well. But as a kind of journey since that podcast, not hugely because I'm busy and all of that, but I have listened to that's just opened up a whole kind of genre for me or stuff for me. So I've listened to Thundercat, Drunk, on the back of that.
I was going to pitch you that.
Oh, sorry. And I've listened to Lamar's How to Pimp a Butterfly. A couple of times. So,
I would pitch you that if I knew enough about hip hop.
Well, yeah, no, and I don't. I mean, but I'm liking it, you know, and I'm liking it, and it's not a world I know much about, but I'm slowly. So if you're asking me for my absolute hit, it's probably Sound of Silver. But for my kind of continuing musical journey, it's that world that I've more into. The other, I think the thing with the LCD sound system is there's only so much irony you can take. It's you know, like he clearly everything he does, his tongue is either firmly or slightly in his cheek, and it's like, well, yeah, but at some point I want to listen to something where you bloody will mean it rather than you're just being a bit too clever. So I think I've done that. You know, I can take Sound of Silver, brilliant, but yeah, the Flying Lotus stuff has opened up a whole world for me. So that's great.
So does that mean they're both in the glad you should know, or both in the oh my god, why didn't I know category?
I think the latter. Yeah, no, I think they're well, I tell you what, they are, of the many reasons I wanted to do this podcast, which, you know, was to get to know you better, but also I just knew you knew more about music than me, and I wanted to basically act like a leech and suck that out of you. It's tick those boxes.
And then I sent you a Bon Jovi album.
Yeah, okay. So Bon Jovi. But it hasn't. Okay, so I expected you to pitch me Bon Jovi and me go, that shit, I'm never going there again. And what's actually happened is you pitched me Bon Jovi, and yeah, with tongue firmly in cheek. I think we did that on the actual pod. Is you can't actually go to a Bon Jovi gig and completely wholeheartedly, you know, not in some way feel you're being a little bit ironic about it.
Yeah, but it's like watching a Bruce Willis movie. You know, like it's just.
That's exactly it. So I have listened to. So you pitched me These Days. I think I always loved the song Keep the Faith. So I have listened to that album 2 or 3 times and really enjoyed it in the same way that
I believe.
Yeah. In the same way that I would watch a cheesy 80 action movie and go, oh God, you know, this is not good for the heart and soul, really, but I'm enjoying it. Oh, I'm enjoying it.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So yeah, it's the musical equivalent of Die Hard or what's the Mel Gibson?
A very, very beloved action film franchise, perhaps one of the most. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
that's kind of what I wanted to prove to you, because I feel
Lethal
like
Weapon.
Bon Jovi, Bon
Yeah.
Jovi, yeah, exactly. But in the pantheon of great movies, you got your Die Hard. Lethal Weapon might be a little bit below, but it's in that kind of realm, right? I feel like, you know, lots of equally silly, if not more silly bands, like, you know, Metallica, AC/DC, whatever, are filling stadiums, and people walk around with T-shirts and they're proud of them, and they're iconic and whatever. I don't feel like Bon Jovi exists in a different realm just because they were slightly more successful on the pop charts, maybe. But I mean, I don't think they're making any more concessions to taste than, say, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, even. You know, like, they didn't come up from some grungy scene or whatever, but they did come from working class Jersey and all the rest of it. Like, I feel like, of course, Bon Jovi are cheesy rock, but yeah, so are AC/DC, so are Guns N' Roses. I love all that stuff. I just don't see why there's a hierarchy that seems to shit on Jovi when... Hell yeah!
No, I'm totally with you, and then just specifically on that, and maybe in a future series you're going to pitch me some Red Hot Chili Peppers, but you know, no, well, exactly, because I find them so up themselves that I just can't listen to it. I don't know if that's fair, but I just go, just shut up with your clever bass and your it's just all a bit, you know, they just seem to be pretending to be rock. Whereas Bon Jovi, I kind of, I'm in the camp. I would go to a Bon Jovi gig now, and I'm, you know, as I say, I've listened to Keep the Faith, and I'll probably spin a few more albums as the years go by. So, but not, you know, not to the same degree as I've enjoyed Flying Lotus, and that's a whole world that I'm genuinely, that's the wrong word, isn't it? But you know, I'm really unabashedly into,
So it's a 1-1-2. You know, a hate one, love two, and Jovi are like, solid.
Yeah, solid. So yeah. You've done really well.
Two mind blowers, one pleasant surprise, and a turd.
Yeah, exactly that. And really chuffed, actually. Yeah, with the LCD Soundsystem and the Flying Lotus, that's just a whole world I would never have. Well, the Flying Lotus especially. I mean, I wouldn't even, you know, Googled it or even known it was there. So that's really great. That's really, really great. So 4 out of 4 from me. That can't be 4 of the same level. So if I had to push you on like a desert island of the 4.
Well, it's getting close. If I'm being completely honest, looking at the criteria where we last year, I mean, maybe the Jethro Tull is not something I'm like dying to explore more. Although I have actually gone out and bought one record on, you know, the one in the forest.
Songs from the Wood.
Yeah, I mean that's a whole other kettle of fish. But
that's quite folky,
it definitely.
It's good.
I mean, it did blow my mind, and I am intrigued, and it has given me a bit more respect for prog. I don't think I'm going to go for both feet first, but I might dabble. So that's the one that kind of fits in the kind of Elton John category of like the nice surprises, like pleasantly surprised. Probably where you put Jovi. Like, yeah, preconceptions largely disproved. Definitely something that I am glad you've made me reconsider. Sure, but like I say, even that I'm buying records, and then the other 3, fuck yeah, like they're all killer. Like, okay, I mean, as you say, Stevie Wonder.
Yeah,
can't pretend I didn't really know him. Never gonna pretend it's not like some of the best music ever made.
Yeah.
Scott Walker, I mean, is going to be the great surprise. I think Scott Walker, in many ways, is like the greatest find of this whole experience for me, because I can't say that, you know, Stevie Wonder was fine, but I can say you pushed me to deeper reconsideration. And then Ultravox, I don't know, they're kind of borderline, but as you know, I've gone out and bought a load of their records, partly because they're cheap secondhand, but like, I mean, a band that I was expecting to be, you know, 80s pop complete mediocrity.
Flip-flap, yeah.
Pretty damn interesting, and I think that I will go deeper. So, yeah, in that order, I mean, Scott and Stevie are definitely 100% like killer, unarguable, mind-blowing. Ultravox, borderline. Ultravox, you know,
You can call them your Bon Jovi if you like, you know.
Ultravox and Jethro Tull, more like my Bon Jovi. But as I say, I've bought records by both since doing this podcast, which isn't really true of anybody else you've pitched me apart from, I think, Supertramp. So
Okay. Interesting.
Oh, and I've obviously bought Scott too, you know, as well. So like,
Cool. Well, and I tell you, so a question. I'm really pleased about that. How much has pitching the albums you pitched me also changed your view of what you were pitching? Because let me just So Scott Walker. Actually, I kind of knew you'd either love or hate, and I hoped you'd love it, and that's fine. But with the Tal, the Ultravox, and the Stevie Wonder, the act of pitching them to you, kind of really like Ultravox especially. I every time I listen to Ultravox, they're better than I remember. And doing the pod, I'm now not even. Just pitching them to you and explore and listen to their big four albums again. I'm not even doing that. Oh yeah, I'll put some Ultravox. I'm just like, no. Do you know what? They're just brilliant. And they've actually just pitching them to you have moved them for me from kind of like second tier to Premier League in my mind because exploring it with you has done that. And Stevie Wonder actually has gone a little bit the other way because I as I said it when we did the podcast, I think I pitched Stevie Wonder to you in the same way I did Elton John, where it was like, look, I think this is brilliant, and I think he has a bad, not quite the kudos he should have. But actually, what I've realised in pitching him to you is I'm just living in a bubble there, and actually the rest of the world is already on board, already on board the Stevie train. So I'm not being quite so outliery there than I thought I was. So basically, the pitching stuff to you has changed my view of these things as well. And I wonder if that's been the same way for you the other way around.
Oh, without doubt. I mean, I think LCD Soundsystem is a great example because they're a band that I've always thought a bit like I think about Daft Punk or The Strokes. Like, I almost missed them the first time around, but kind of got in a little bit after the event, but still got in. And I always kind of been a little bit suspicious of the shiny trendiness of it all. And is this really my tribe? I guess I'm almost close enough to the kind of cultural event that they're a part of to be an identity associated with it rather than just seeing it as an artifact. Sure. So I think pitching them to you made me realize that they probably do stand up musically, but that whole artifact is such a huge part of them. I think the greatest surprise, however, was Bon Jovi because I've always thought of them as a bit of a joke and a guilty pleasure, but forcing myself to go back to the first album I fell in love with, age 9 or whatever.
Yeah.
And go, okay, it's not as good as I thought it was when I was 9, but actually, I do think it holds up. Actually, I think it, it doesn't hold up as with Exile on Main Street, but as I said, I think it holds up with, I don't know, Hysteria by Def Leppard or any of these other bands that have done that kind of music. It's not Appetite, but God, it's better than Use Your Illusion. So it's good rock and roll and it's well crafted and it does make concessions to pop, but that's not really a dirty word. Honestly, Fly Low, I've been on a journey with Fly Low ever since I first heard You're Dead myself, which is why I kind of gave you that one. It was my gateway drug to that whole universe.
Right.
And I'm still finding new shades. I'm still finding new shades of, things in his music and other people's music that I've listened to as a result. It's a kind of unraveling thing, which again isn't really necessarily my natural comfort zone, but it's an evolving relationship. The only thing that maybe soured is Suede. I don't really believe all your criticism of Suede, but subsequent to pitching this to you and listening to this with you and really getting deep into it, I went on to write a book proposal about trying to write about this album, which I figured was a good idea because it wasn't an album I loved and therefore I'd be objective about it. But needless to say, the process of writing the proposal and then the proposal getting rejected means just never really want to listen to it ever again, to be honest. Like, I'm kind of done with them right now. So,
oh no!
Which is why they've just dropped their 10th album, 11th album, Antidepressants, and it's the first one that I haven't instantly run out to buy for my significant other because I'm just like, do you know what? I can't do another Suede album right now. Screw that.
Interesting. Yeah. So in many ways, Bon Jovi is your Ultravox for me. I sort of pitched it with a little bit of kind of tongue-in-cheek irony, and you did with Bon Jovi, but actually what we've done in the pitching is realise that we probably do love these bands a bit more than we actually would admit. And just to say, I wouldn't have pitched you Ultravox if you'd not pitched me Bon Jovi, and I'm really glad you did because that was our proper. Yeah. Because that was for both of us. It was like because you went there, you did the 12-year-old band, and so I did back. And actually, for better or worse, clearly we both still love our 12-year-old bands. Well, and I was going to say more than we should.
I don't really play Bon Jovi very, very often, if ever. No. But my point is, when I hear them, it makes me happy. Yeah,
exactly that. Yeah, exactly.
And I don't think it was time misspent. I think I learned a lot. I think a lot of my guitar playing to this day is probably influenced by Richie in some way, etc., etc. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So where does that leave us, Dave?
So I've still got a long list of stuff that I haven't gone there. So series 3, what might be the kind of thing, and we never guarantee it because things change as the series go on. But what's on your list to pitch me next series?
Dials up spreadsheet. Duh, 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 duh. Well, the thing is, Dave, you know I'm a sucker for anniversaries. So in the latter part of 2015, so in the latter part of 2025, 2 of my favorite albums are going to turn 50 years old by the iconic figures Fela Kuti and Patti Smith. And in 2026, 2 of my favorite 90s bands are turning 30, and that would be Pearl Jam and REM. So it's kind of a no-brainer that those 4 are going to be coming your way soon.
Okay, exciting. It's not Pearl Jam 10, is it?
Fuck no. You know that one already.
Good. Of course I know that one. I'm a 4-year-old man. Of course I know that. That grew up in the UK. We all know that one. And then we all went, and then they, they went up and did lots of other different things, but I never carried on with them. So I'm excited about that. Very excited about the Patti Smith. Because that's a world I have wanted to go into and never have. So that's great. So the other way round, I still can't believe I've not pitched you a Richard Thompson album. Often thought of as, came from folk roots, but often quoted as the UK's finest or greatest ever guitarist. I cannot believe I've not pitched you Canada's finest, the Tragically Hip, because I think they're awesome. And I know you've got a starting point here, but it would be wrong of me if I'm pitching you kind of, my heart and soul music that I really love, to not pitch you at some point a Depeche Mode album. So that's going to have to... I know, I'm sorry, but it's got to come your way at some point. And the other thing I'm really struggling is, after Ultravox for a lot longer, I was a massive Music of Genesis in the 70s fan.
No.
And I can't not, I've got to get that stuff over to you for better or worse. So those things are coming, but I might sprinkle in. How about this as well? You obviously know Green Day, but what was the last Green Day album you were really into?
Insomniac? No, Nimrod.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So I've got to sprinkle in one of the really good Green Day double albums, or even...
No. I'm not doing a double album of Green Day. Fuck that.
Okay, well, in that case, because they've released a couple of albums recently that Stan, my 14-year-old, absolutely loves. And they are... And
that's
they're
it.
all right.
It's
they're
music
all right.
for 14-year-olds.
Yeah, I know, but they're really good. And I think it would be quite interesting because you were into, presumably when you were 13, 14, you were into that. So I love them. So I might be pitching you a modern Green Day album just for kicks.
Having said that, I feel like I might just change all that, because what happened last season is I tried to pitch you all this hipster new shit that I thought you were going to love and have your mind blown, like Fiona Apple and Daft Punk. And you were kind of meh about it. And the 3 you loved were... The Strokes, Gaslight Anthem, and the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
So for the next season, I was planning to go deep into, as I say, guitar bands. Let's do REM. Let's do the Hold Steady. Let's do Pearl Jam, and do my loves. But then after this conversation, what did you love this time around?
You love Lotus and LCD Soundsystem.
So I don't know. Maybe I'll just bring out the pretentious shit after all. Let's see.
That's just me giving it the whatever you think I am, I'm not problem. Brilliant. All right. So who's pitching the first one?
Well, I feel like we're gonna miss the anniversary as it is. So let's dive in with Patti Smith, Horses, which is going for a big 50th anniversary fanfare already right now. By the time we've done it, it'll be old news.
Brilliant.
But let's arrive late at the party anyway.
Brilliant. I really look forward to that. Brilliant. If you have been, that's been season 2. Season 3 will be kicking off with Horses soon. Thanks for listening.